Hello. This is Kareen from the North Balford Library with Lakeland Library Region, back with episode 22 of Boredom Busters. Woohoo! So, my goal is at least once a month to do some kind of recipe or cooking with you. So today, we are going to be making our own pizza dough. This is super easy, but still allows you to get your hands messy. And we are in the kitchen today. I don't know if you guys recognize the different filming locations. Drop a comment if you do. And we'll get started. What you'll need for today: 1.5 teaspoons of yeast. This stuff is the pizza yeast, but I use it with everything. Or vice versa, you can use regular yeast with this. We need 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1.5 cups of lukewarm water, so just slightly above room temperature, but you don't want it hot. 3.5 cups of flour, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. I will occasionally use garlic or onion powder instead of my salt for some extra flavor. 1 large egg at room temperature, and then either olive oil or canola oil. Step 1. Get a bowl and put your warm water. One and a half cups, and then your sugar. I might cheat a little bit today because I've got just my regular teaspoon and just use two of anything that I need 1.5 of. So 1. 2. And then your yeast. 1, 2. And then stir this together. And then this you'll have to let sit for about 10 minutes to let it start bubbling and to activate the yeast. So I'll just bring that forward and kind of show you. And we'll set that aside. And while you're waiting on that, combine your flour and your salt in a large bowl. And then in a separate bowl, beat your egg. So 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, and a half cup. So we've got our flour and then some salt. So I'm going to do 1, 2 of that, and mix that together. And then we also need to beat our egg. So I've got another bowl. And then we're just gonna take our fork and beat that. Okay, and we're just gonna wait for our yeast to finish bubbling. Step 2. In your bowl of flour, bring your hands and kind of make a chill with it. And then use your fingers and make a well in the middle. There we go. All right. Now, in that little well, pour in your beaten egg. And your bubbling yeast thing, and it smells a little bit funny, I'm not gonna lie, so pour that in. And then just kind of mix it all together. Step 3. Once your flour and your wet ingredients are all mixed together, you now have a dough. Turn the dough out onto a lightly floured but clean surface, and make sure you get some flour onto your hands as well. I always try and steal as much flour from the container as I can and get all of this off here. And now we're just going to keep bringing it together and kneading this. This will probably take about 5 minutes or so, so we'll speed up this part. If your dough is really sticky, add a little bit more flour to it. And if your dough isn't really wanting to come together, add a little bit more water to it. Once your dough is smooth and elastic, place it in a lightly oiled bowl. So I'm just going to use the same bowl that I mixed everything in to begin with, because I hate doing extra dishes when I don't have to. And just pour a little bit into it, and then just kind of slosh it around. Get a little bit more into this. This bowl is not the best for mixing in because I did some popcorn in it once and it exploded a little bit, so there's pock marks. But so now that your bowl is oiled, you're gonna make your nice little round dough shape, and then just kind of gently flip it around so that it's nicely oiled as well. And then you're going to cover this with a clean cloth and let it rise for 45 minutes or until the dough is doubled in size. While the dough is rising, I'm going to prep my toppings, but I'm going to do this off camera because toppings are really whatever you want to have. We'll check back in once the dough is done. So it's been about 45 minutes, so let's finish off our pizza. I've started preheating my oven to 375 degrees, and I have all of my toppings ready to put on. And let's make this into a pizza crust. As you can see, this is now double the size that it was. So we just have to go put a little bit of oil on your hands just to help prevent it from sticking. There we go. And perfect. So we just punch it down to get all of the air out of it. And then we're just going to grab our pizza pan and we're going to kind of roll and stretch with your fist to make it the width of the pan. Except I keep getting holes into it, so I have to kind of stretch and fix that. we're just gonna knead it all back together and try this again, because yeah, that was not going so well. You can use the rolling pin to do this as well. It's just so much more fun to like stretch it. Stretch, 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 stretch. Stretch, 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 stretch. I'm trying to close up that hole in the middle there. Get this into the middle here. And yes, I did just take a piece from one of my corners to help fill in that center part. Might take a little piece off of this side too. There we go. All right, now you're going to put your toppings on and bake this for 20 minutes at 375 degrees. If you pull out your pizza and cut it into the middle and it's still a little bit wet or gummy, just bake it for a little bit longer. Every oven is slightly different. And my pizza is done. So you want it nice and fluffy. This one rises a lot, so it's really yummy. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!